So good afternoon and welcome to Medical Conversations with Dr. Matthew Koech. And today we have a very passionate doctor, a doctor that I have known for many years, a doctor who's done a lot for many patients in this country, a doctor who is passionate about his work, a doctor who, if you come to LRET and if you come to MTRH especially, you're very likely to meet him. So we have Dr. Cheptinga here with us this afternoon, and we're going to try and find out about his life, about what he does, and about his experiences in the field of medicine. So welcome, Dr. Cheptinga. Maybe for the sake of our viewers, we'll ask you to introduce yourself. But before we get there, I would like to ask all of you to please like, subscribe, and stay tuned to our channel. And watch out for content coming from us. So Dr. Cheptinga, tell us about yourself, introduce yourself to our viewers, and really, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah.
And
thank you, Matthew.
Yes.
And good afternoon, members. Good afternoon, viewers. Indeed, it's a pleasure to have and meet you over the Dr. Matthew Koech tube. You are welcome. Kindly subscribe, as we shall entertain and share more information on health issues related. As Matthew said, I'm Philip Kikru Cheptinga. I must say I'm a village boy from Ainomoy, Kiboino location, Baringo Central, Baringo County. I grew up in the Kerio Valley. And early years, I started my school in Msea Primary School in Elgeyo Marakwet County. And later on, I joined Kiboino Primary School when I was in class 6, before joining Saja High School. And subsequently, I was admitted to Moi University School of Medicine. And that's where my career grew in medicine. And eventually, I did my master's here in Moi University again, before doing my fellowship program in nephrology in University of Witwatersrand in South Africa, and subsequently studied my program in transplantation in Netherlands, VU University in Amsterdam. I must say I've known Matthew for a long time. Most of you don't know that Matthew and I, we schooled together in Sajai School, so it's my schoolmate, though I was ahead of him.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that's how we have known him. I've known him since then. And eventually, he joined Moi University of Nairobi for his undergraduate medicine before joining us in Moi University. And that's how we grew. Later on, we have also known, we went to South Africa together with him. And I'm really happy that we have built the kidney program together in Eldoret. Up there, our father, that is Professor Boniface Kanda, who has since is the dean in Uzima University, School of Medicine, Uzima University.
In Kisumu.
In Kisumu. Indeed, we have grown from almost, I can say, from the year 2000 up to date. And we thank God for the years He has given us in growing the nephrology service in the region.
Yeah.
Some of the key milestones we have achieved as a county, as a Moi University, MTRH, include the issues of the entire country rollout of the dialysis program for both children and adults. As you are all aware, every corner of this country, there is a dialysis unit. The second point I want to put also, which we have achieved, is having dialysis being covered by the National Health Insurance Fund, that is the NHIF, and subsequently the SHA program, which took over from the year 2004. And so many lives have been saved during this particular period. We have also achieved the transplant program, which actually with the support from the National Health Insurance and now the Social Health Insurance, which is more enhanced as compared to the National Health Insurance or NHIF, which we had in the past. And it's because of those milestones we have It's Eldoret. I think we have transplanted more than 600 people in our region, which is actually a key success story for our Kenyan region.
Yeah.
The fact that we have few nephrologists, few transplant surgeons, anesthesiologists, among others, team members. And indeed, as today, we have actually launched the Transplant Ethics Committee, which is the first on its own in our country to oversee and ensure that there is independence in the process of what during the transplant processes. And this is something I want to request all of you or all of us as fellow Kenyans to embrace these processes to ensure that not every Kenyan gets the best from its own people.
Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Cheptinga, for such a wonderful introduction of yourself. Indeed, I've known Dr. Cheptinga since, I think, when I finished my medical school and I was an intern.
Yes.
And the first time I met Dr. Cheptinga, he was a very, Cheptinga is not someone who is lazy. He's very busy. He's always engaged. He always enjoys taking care of patients. So tell us, Dr. Cheptinga, about why you chose medicine. Why didn't you decide to do anything else? What is it that drew you to medicine?
Thank you, Matthew, once more. Mine was really a long story. When I was young, my village mates, my community actually identified me as early as possible, as early as when I was in class 1. And then they gave me a name that I'm Doctor, after Dr. Leakey. And indeed, I didn't know much. It never rang my mind that at one point I wanted to become a doctor. But when I was in high school, personally, I never thought I would join medicine. What I had in mind was to join the Kenya Defense Forces, because that was the pride of our community those days. And eventually, we landed the School of Medicine, and here we are, and we thank God. So I must say the community identified me early.
Okay.
And when I was in such high school, and that's one of the schools I really appreciate and thank the entire community, is when the teachers also, when they come to the selection, they told me, Dr. or rather Cheptinga, just choose medicine. And my mind was, medicine was caring, because I didn't want to deal with people who were sick or people who were dying. But I wanted, eventually I landed
You chose medicine.
medicine.
So given a second chance, would you do something else? Would you like to be an engineer or a lawyer, or you're happy with what you did?
No, I think I'm really happy that I'm in medicine. This is one of the fields I've really enjoyed, and I'll continue to enjoy with whole of my heart. And beside that, you might not know that when I was in high school, I trained as a carpenter. So I'm actually by profession, I'm a carpenter. I like joinery. With my friends, I think a number of men, one of them is called Joseph Kibor, who is a banga. But we used to like woodwork. And that's why I became a carpenter.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And once you became a doctor, you did not just stop there. You went on, you did a master's in medicine in pediatrics, and even after that, you were still not satisfied. You went and did nephrology at Witwatersrand University in Johannesburg. So what is it that drew you to pediatrics, and furthermore, what drew you to nephrology and pediatric nephrology?
After my internship, I was posted to Taita Taveta. And when I was in Taita Taveta district then, I was posted to Taveta, which is actually about a town. And at that time, most of our patients were being referred to Tanzania, a place called near Moshi, Kilimanjaro Christian Hospital. And that's why I realized and noted that most patients are suffering. Eventually, I was transferred to Nyandarua County before transferring to Nandi County as a district medical officer. And that's where now I actually noted when I was in Nandi, I noted most children were suffering. In the sense that most people were not able to fix granules for the babies. Babies were coming with very sick. And eventually, we also noted that most of the children were not being taken care of. While in Nandi, I know that most babies who are below 5 years could be seen with the pediatricians, or rather the clinical officer in the pediatric department, while those who are above 5 years could be seen with expectant mothers, which I found is very uncomfortable. Because why should that child be treated to be a small adult? And before I left, I was employed by Cheptinga Referral Hospital in the year 2004 as a medical officer, and my main task was to establish a sick child clinic, and that was something which was at the bottom of my heart, to save the same, to help the children. And I found the same scenario which I used to see in Kapsabet and also Taita Taveta, Nyandarua. Babies below 5 years could be seen with their services were not being treated fairly well. Okay. And those above 5 years could be seen with expectant mothers. Okay. So that's when I started the sick child clinic. I brought all the children below the age of 14 years and those who have been born. And I put them in a small, I was given a small space that time, which was equivalent to like 10 meters by 20 meters area. Yeah. And I noted the amazing things. The number of children I was able to see was per day was growing every day, up to 180 babies per day. Wow. And that was huge. And I actually took my passion to, and that's why I realized actually I have to do my master's in the child health and pediatrics. But subsequently, after doing my master's in child health and pediatrics, I actually noted most of the killer disease of these babies were issues related to the electrolyte imbalance because of diarrhea, the vomiting, and eventually knocking down the kidneys, and then that is before the children die. And that's the main reason why I decided to do dialysis. I do nephrology so that I can help these children who are very sick. Instead of dying, I can do an alternative like dialysis and eventually even transplant them and give them another chance of life. And that's for sure, that's what I did. But to my surprise, while at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, I noticed something striking, that in the unit which started in the year of 1948, there were adults being managed and treated in the children's clinic. Reason, they said in South Africa, if you cannot be transplanted, if you are a child and you cannot be transplanted because the adult site is too full, they said you remain with the children. And I found an old man called Bongani, who was 63 years old, being taken care of by one of our professors, Professor Thomas, when he was 4 years old. And he took care of him up to the age of 62. And I actually found myself, out of that unit alone, we had a total of 48 adults being treated as children. Okay. Or being taken care of by pediatricians. And that's how I actually learned. And after that, I had a calling to come back home. For one reason, because mine was not to make money. Mine was to make better lives of fellow Kenyans. And that's why when I came here, what Professor Kanda has done it, I came, we commented together before my colleague Matthew. And I actually told Matthew, you come back, because there were Kenyans who wanted to remain in South Africa. I actually ensured Matthew comes back also, because he joined me also there, and eventually we set up program, and that's why we have grown this far. While we were actually here, I also ensured that if I retire, I need a succession planning. And that's why actually to ensure that my colleagues, that is Dr. Peter Koech and Dr. Maritim, joined us also. And I want to thank the MTRH management for the support they gave us. And I still actually wanted to encourage more teaching and referral also, because we cannot be a few of us. We need another 100 of us. And I am sure, as soon as I'm almost retiring, that indeed I need another 100 Cheptingas before I retire. And I had maybe my government through the president to give us, to train more nephrologists, train more transplant surgeons, train more transplant and histologist team and other teams, so that like every county is able to do a transplant, so that our fellow Kenyans cannot be traveling all the way to India, South Africa, US. These services should be found within our country, within our borders, so that every Kenyan feel and to be part and parcel of the Kenyan government, the Kenyan people, because we are lucky because most of our Kenyans, the Kenyan population, we actually come from large families, which is, to me is very good. And I want to encourage our people to have enough children which we are able to manage and support them. Not the way we've been copying and cutting pasting what the Western world are doing. Just have enough children you're able to take care of, and good, because we are a strong community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Harry. So the other thing, Doc, I wanted to ask you is, of course, when you came back from your kidney specialty training, that's nephrology from Johannesburg, you came back and you took up a leadership role at MTRH. You became the head of department of nephrology, and this is a job that you've been doing wonderfully and very well for the last several years. Tell us about this. What do you do? What are the achievements, and what are the challenges that you've been facing as a head of department at MTRH?
I think it's indeed leadership is a calling. It's not a privilege. It is indeed a position to influence others positively, to have everybody on board and ensure that things move. You realize you set the calls, you set the visions, you set the objectives, and this way now you have to have the objectives, the vision, the mission, the objectives of the department, the hospital, and also to the larger community to Kenya, and maybe even the national community. How do you integrate your objectives, your calls into all those perspectives? And secondly was, one of the major issues we have in our country is creating awareness. And it's not easy to influence somebody, especially a grown-up person like you and I. But I believe the more you educate them, the more they understand and comprehend the importance of such a thing.
Yeah.
I must say we have actually achieved a lot as an institution with a successful kidney transplant in the year 2006, sorry. And subsequently we have grown all the way to reaching the above 200 mark within a span of 16 years or 20 years or so. It's not small. It's a milestone for our country. And also, of course, having Matthew, Beta, Koej, Maritime coming on board, is not easy. I had to get my colleagues also, like Dr. Kasiboy, who was then working in Kericho district, as well as Dr. Mugalo, who is our senior surgeon, as well as, and recently we got trained our colleagues, Dr. Matenge, Dr. Amadi, and Dr. Kirwa also ensure that they also get the necessary skills and the competence from other established institutions. Like Dr. Kirwa had to train in India for specifically on the organ and tissue transplantation. Yeah. Moving forward, we have a big vision, establishing a kidney or a transplant center where not only the kidneys, but we should be able to transplant all the cells, tissues, and the organs. And I want to share with you, we are phasing out this program, or rather this vision. We are going to go to the liver. Eventually we go to which we are at advanced stage to start, maybe in the next 1 or 2 years, we should be doing the liver transplant. Okay. We shall also go forward to do the bone marrow. Our team, we have already trained our teams. We are already, the hospital, the Kiblombe, MTRH, the level 7 hospital, is under construction. The equipment is being brought, the training of the human resource. So it's a matter of 1 or 2 years before we do all those services. We hope at those services to our fellow Kenyans. And the most important, but not the least, is the succession planning. Okay. I'm sure soon you'll be saying, now I'm tired, I want to go home. Yeah. It's about you and I to ensure that we have another 100 of us, or if not 200, so that even when we go home, we can actually say, we don't need to go abroad to seek for these services. It should be within our Kenyan community. And that's really, I'm proud of that. I want to thank the government of the support we got from the National Health Insurance Fund, and currently the Social Health Insurance Authority, the sheet, because they have come in a huge way in the sense that they actually support, like the SHA now pays a total of 150,000 to prepare the patient for transplant. They also pay a total of 180,000 for the recipient to be harvested, and further another 700,000 for the recipient towards transplantation, and subsequently 180,000 post-transplant medication. To me, it's an achievement. We might not have achieved 100%, but it's an achievement. We have continued to engage the SHA, the Ministry of Health on the same, and I believe Kenyans are listening. We are going to be there. And so far, again, we have the legislation. There's a bill before Parliament on the Kenya Blood and Transplant Bill, which is of 2024. It currently is under the level of public participation, and I'm sure that our leaders, particularly the members of Parliament, are going to have this matter discussed and concluded before President consent to make it a law. To me, we are going to be among the first countries in African region to have such kind of a very comprehensive and to ensure that we curb issues of the organ trafficking of human persons, as well as even the issues of the other cohesion of the vulnerable or the vulnerable group of among our communities. So to me, I look forward, and I'm really optimistic that indeed, as a country, we are ready. We shall be maybe like third country, and we have. Okay. We also have a community. We have established the Kenya Renal Association, which have actually networked to establish the African Society of Nephrologists, and we have the international community, like International Society of Nephrologists, what we call ISN. We have also International Society of Pediatric Association, as well as International Society of Transplantation, which Matthew and I were part of this group, this organization, which are actually influencing our society and look at the views, how we can make it, our Kenyan society, a better society for every Kenyan born today or even the years to come, as we look brighter future. Yeah. The bottom line is we must make it, every step we do, every day, every year, we must make things better for all of us as a country. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very remarkable story, Dr. Cheptinga. So I'm just wondering, on your day-to-day nature of work, what some of the challenges you've encountered are, what are your fears, and what are the things that make you anxious sometimes?
Thank you, Matthew. I must say, Cheptinga, as you should know me, I don't believe there's fear. Because every challenge, there's a solution. So you don't need to fear. Number two, of course, we face one or two challenges, and indeed we have to plan ahead. The fact that we are few is one of the major issues, the human resource. And indeed, it's very difficult to convince somebody to go to get some experience and knowledge outside there. Bearing in mind, this person has looked at it, that maybe my family, I'm leaving behind a young family, I don't have the resources, and so forth. It's really difficult to convince, and I want to thank the international community, particularly the ISN, the IPNA, the International Society of Transplantation, for the services, for the support they have given us as a country, and to my colleagues, the entire country, for that. Number two challenge is the human resource, and I want to request the Kenya government to continue supporting us. I know most Kenyans say, why should you support doctors but not other professionals? Yeah. I wanted to tell, these services are not available in the country. Maybe in the next few years we can say so. But at the moment we are still developing those services, what we call the super specialist services, so that our fellow Kenyans cannot be going to India, cannot be referred to South Africa, or we refer the samples to South Africa, India, Europe, Germany, even America. We want these services to be within our country. And that brings, for example, the issues of the lab. You remember that most of the lab tests we do in the country, less than actually 20% are being offered in the country, while more than 80% have to be referred outside there. And when we send samples to other countries, we lose revenue, it takes time, they are very expensive, and actually, even the time it takes before we get the results is time consuming. So those results will come back when there's already time
Too late.
part. It might
Yeah.
not help our patients.
Yeah.
And I want to connect the Ministry of Health through our Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Aden Duale, and congratulate him for the wonderful job he has done. Continue doing the same and improve on the same so that these services are within our country so that we don't need to suffer more further. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cheptinga. So I'll take you back now to your childhood and probably not necessarily way back, but to your medical school times. And for the sake of those who want, those in the audience who would like to hear, how you found it and how you got through medical school, how you did it, some of the exciting times you had, and how you got through the pressures of medical school. What is some of the advice based on what you've experienced that you can say to those who aspire to be medical students and train in medicine?
Yeah, that's indeed a good proposal. I just wanted to maybe share that indeed joining medicine is one of the best programs you'll ever join. In the sense that during our time, the government used to pick the top best in the KCSE results, or those of us who did in the Form 6, those are the one would be the top cream. And what most of us didn't know is that the best in the whole country could be put together. And indeed, at Moi University School of Medicine, our program is quite different from the other universities in the sense that we do what we call problem-based learning. We don't have lectures system. It's actually comparable to what you call the the competent-based medical education.
Yeah.
And that's what Moi University started in the year 1987 up to date. And the reason why it looks different is it enables you to be a thinker, to be an innovator. You think on your own. And eventually, that's the competence. The second point I wanted to encourage to say that during, like in Moi University, we normally go to the field. Mm-hmm. During the first year, you go for a total of 8 weeks. That is 2 months. And I'm sorry to inform you, I joined med school when at the beginning of the HIV.
Okay.
And some of us who came from the rural homes, those sites, we had never seen a dead body. You could see somebody has died maybe over another 20 years. But now when you come to hospital, the first thing you hear was the cry. I'm sorry to inform you also, I come from a community, a cry means a lot to us. Okay. It means there's a war coming up, so if somebody is maybe has been bereaved, you're forced to wake up in the night and find out what is it. Is it the war started or what is it? But nonetheless, subsequently, it was quite interesting times during our time because there were no clubs, there were no needles. So we used to do most of the operations, we used to use our hands. The needles which were available used to be boiled and be used for a number of patients. But indeed, we have come from far. The worst experience was for me when I was in the rural community, doing what we call community-based education. And that was in a place called Chulaimbo in Kisumu district then. And that was the height time of the HIV. Yep. And it was, to me, that's the time I thought of leaving medical school because I could not bear the people dying. Yeah. The other aspect also which I noted was using your own bare hands to do suggestions. And then after that, you go back for lunch. And you know the way formalin smells, and you feel like really, me I could stay even for another 2 days without taking food. It was traumatizing, but eventually now when the clubs came, now people realize, and eventually now we improved. And I think currently things have actually improved, and I want to encourage our fellow Kenyans, especially the young people who want to join the medical school. I want to assure you that medicine is the best. The future is bright. And the reason why I'm talking like that, Matthew, is you can do your undergraduate You go for your master's. After your master's, you can also go for your subspecialization, and you can even do what you call further super specialization. And the beauty with medicine is you treat somebody in the next few weeks, this person is up and running, and eventually you will not believe. You actually say, wow, you see your results of your what God has given you, and you get really happy. I wanted to urge and request the Kenya government to look critique. It takes not less than 50 years, let me say 45 years, for you to become a super specialist. These are the people who deal with a specific tissue, cell, or organs. And this is the high-end level of medicine. And this is where, unfortunately, most of us, we reached there, we started to practice at the age of 50, 55. So the government, you have invested over millions of money on me. And only you allow me to do practice for another 10, 5 years, and then I retire. It's high time the government need to consider these doctors to have to retire at the age of maybe like 70, like the other, like the judges, the magistrates, and so forth, because you're losing the tunnel. Because these are the high-end people who should train, who are the trainers of the trainees, so that our people cannot be going to foreign countries to train. We want to train our own people. I want to give an example, Professor Maklukeyo, the late Professor Were, and Professor Mungai. We sat down some years back and say, yes, we must have our own training of nephrologists in the country. And we are now 10 years, almost like the 10 years down the line, where we have started in the Yaki, East Africa Kidney Institute at the University of Nairobi, training on our own. Imagine, Matthew, that I'm number 3 pediatric nephrologist in the whole country for many years. And I requested my colleague, Dr. Bashir, that we cannot be 3 forever. We must grow. And indeed today, as I speak today, we are now 8. We are growing. And I hope before I retire, we should be almost like 100 in the country.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted to request the government to consider, please, let not allow these people to retire at 60. Let them retire at 70, so that they can train others.
The next generation.
And to make other generations. We don't need to go to South Africa. We don't need to go to US. We don't need to Canada. And I want to call our fellow Kenyans who are outside there. Well, life is not money alone. Come back home. Let us build our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cheptinga. That's very interesting. So, for many people, they look at medical school and they find it tough and difficult. You are doing difficult exams, you're learning difficult things, and you're learning a lot of things at the same time. What is the secret, according to you? What do you think made you successful in your learning career through undergraduate training and postgraduate training?
Thank you. The most important thing is you accepting that you are in medical school. I don't think medicine is different from other professions. It's the commitment. It's your vision, your objectives. Why have you come to medical school? Okay? The work is intense. Yes, indeed. And I don't think there's any field which is not intense. Even to be a plumber, you need a lot of commitment to train, to get the skills and the competence. So I think the perception that maybe it takes some time. Yes, it takes time. But nonetheless, if you tailor-made and commit yourself, eventually you'll get through. Work closely with your mentors, and you'll be surprised. By the way, you and I, we are not the first doctors.
Yeah.
There are many who have come
before us.
I remember our dean then, Professor Aaron Mengage, he used to encourage us every day to be the best. And I'm really proud, and I want to salute him for the wonderful job he did at Moi University. And indeed, establishing MTRH, as well as the AMPAT, which is a larger consortium in the entire East Africa, in the entire African region. It's not easy. We need commitment. And I want to those of us, I want to encourage you not give up. Always be positive, and I'm sure you will be able to achieve. And I actually, as I told you earlier on, that indeed, as a country, we have shortage of the super specialists who can actually sort most of these things and generate revenue to our country. And I think we can be a rich nation Maybe I also want to tell you that, fellow Kenyans, that indeed health is wealth. And if we invest well, it's a major source of revenue. Imagine the resources which goes outside the country. And I'm happy that one of our colleagues, the Principal Secretary, Dr. Omuko Luga, has really shared with me that, and I'm happy that the issues of having local manufacturers for the medicine, for the equipment, so as to cut the cost, so as to create jobs, and we become self-reliant. We don't need to have loans. We don't need to have buy from outside. Yet we have engineers, we have everybody in our country. I think we are self-sufficient because our Kenya government has really invested in education heavily. And it's high time now we build our country. We need to change our mind to be the best. We need to build our country. I don't believe yourself, if you go to a country like US or Canada or Australia or Europe, where you find the structures have been there. Yes, they have been there. They were built by those people. Ours is the best. Just come back and we build together. And we are going to be like more, we can even exceed those guys in another 50 years, 100 years. Thank you.
I think that's a very beautiful statement there. Nobody will build this country except ourselves. And those other countries like US, Canada, Australia, someone built them. And if we are running away from this country, we are going to a place where someone else built.
Yeah.
So why don't we just sit here and build our own institutions? And talking about that, Dr. Cheptinga, the next thing I wanted to just hear your thoughts about is, of course, in this field, you've met many other doctors. And I'm sure you've been taught by senior doctors before, people who've been ahead of us. I'm sure you must have by now seen doctors that you greatly admire. Do you have any people you admire either in the field of pediatrics or nephrology or generally in medicine? And what is it that you admire about them?
Thank you, Matthew. And indeed, I want to appreciate our mentors. All our mentors. They have really tracked our lives in one way or another, influenced us positively. And allow me to say, one of the first one I've ever interacted, I remember a long time, is Professor Aaron Mengich. Yeah. Indeed, he has been a huge influencer of medicine. He has been a figure, figurehead in our country. He established Moi University School of Medicine from zero. He went ahead and established he supported the Jomo Kenyatta University Medical College of Health Sciences. We have Maumbili University, and eventually also the MTRH, as well as the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital. And more important is the establishment of the AMPAT, which actually started as in a small way to grow. And he has actually, the AMPAT program has a huge influence, not only in Kenya, but entire East Africa region. And it's one of the centers which has really been referred, not only in the world, in Africa, but also the whole world. And imagine AMPAT now with a total of more than 96 consortiums or 104 consortiums. It has grown. And it's not easy. That was a real fusion, which I actually want to encourage all of us to go through. The second person I'll not forget is Professor Esamai, for the influence. He has the head. If you look at Professor Esamai, he has come a long way. Yeah. And he's one of the persons really who actually made me to do pediatrics. And not the least, you look at Professor Ayaya. Professor Ayaya has been a mentor. He's the one who told me, now you're finished your undergraduate, come back for pediatrics. And I will not forget that. And of course, my colleagues wanted my schoolmate, rather my college mate, classmate, Professor Atwoli, who is currently the Dean Aga Khan University. I remember some time back when we were doing COPS in part 1990s, late 90s. We were in a place called Mosoriot. And one of the first things which was really unique was in the month of February, we were able to get fresh maize cobs. And I told it, asked me, can we buy 20? We take it home. And indeed, most of my classmates then, we had the privilege of having free food in the universities.
Okay.
Our breakfast was being served early, as early as 4, and maybe lunch was served at as early as 10, and supper would be served from 4 up to 11 midnight.
Okay.
It was really interesting those days. And many colleagues, and as I grew through the field, I actually got more of our colleagues. Particularly, I wanted to, we have Professor Wee from Netherlands, who actually influenced all of us. I'm sure even you, Matthew, is the one who influenced
Definitely.
us to do nephrology and also get into transplantation. And back home in Johannesburg, I have Professor Levy, who has really influenced us also, particularly in terms of transplantation. And there are things, many other senior colleagues, including Professor Thomas, Professor Mignon of Cape Town, and other international communities. And back in University of Nairobi, I want to salute our colleagues, Professor Makulukei, our senior professor, a number of professors, I have the pediatric team, who have really helped us and really going, including my close friend, Dr. Bashir. It's not easy, especially for babies. It's not easy, but we have to tailor-make and have. Last but not the least, among the group, including the Professor Tenges, pediatric surgeon.
Yeah.
I got really interested in his fine skills in pediatric surgery, particularly how to fix, like even a central line, and I learned. But not to forget Professor Constant Tenge. It's not easy. I have my mentors, rather my supervisors, Professor Nyandiko, Professor Marete. It's not been easy. We have come from a long way. And of course, our boss, you know very well, Dr. Ogaro, who is a senior pediatrician and pediatric pulmonology in this town. It's not been easy. And all our mentors, it really, I appreciate and truly appreciate and thank all of them. We have Dr. Ganda, who is our father of nephrology in this city of Eldoret. As I said earlier on, is now based in, is the Dean Colleges of Medicine, Usima University. Is a very gentle old man. And I want to say thank you very much, Professor Kanda. It's not, you see the fruits. Matthew and us, we are your children, we are your fruits, and we want to assure you that we are going to go to greater heights, including ensuring that we have more than 100 nephrologists. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So as we come to a close, the other thing I wanted to ask you, Dr. Cheptinga, you've been very passionate about improving health systems in this country. And there are two things that I've noticed you've been very, very vocal about. Apart from transplantation, really, you've been vocal about the establishment of a national health lab system, probably similar to the South African one. But you've also been vocal and very passionate about the establishment of a college of medicine to govern and regulate the training of specialists and subspecialists. What are your thoughts about that? Maybe you can let the audience know your feelings about the establishment of a national lab system and the colleges of medicine.
Let me start with the issues of the investigations or diagnostics. We realize, as I said earlier on, that indeed most of the tests we require, as you grow the ladder in medicine, you realize actually you require to be precise before for you to enable you to have a diagnosis and treatment. It has to be evidence-based. So in most of the cases, you realize our lab are basic labs, where you do the basic tests like malaria, full hemogram, UECs. But when it comes to the advanced tests, which are required for most of the common conditions, because the diseases change also with time. Currently, most of those community diseases, non-communicable diseases are the main challenge. That is cancer, diabetes, blood pressure, heart disease, kidney diseases, and we are not prepared as a country. And when I look through, most of the samples are referred or taken to outside the country. through maybe labs which are owned by those, they have other labs in their respective countries. And when I look through, I realize actually less than 20% of the tests which are recommended for human beings are being done in Kenya. While the 90%, 80%, over 80%, we have to refer outside. And I realize what they do, what is required is to establish a parastatal semi-government autonomy body, whereby the government gives and maybe a total of 20 billion per year. They start regional centers, like in maybe in the North Rift, to cover the entire North Rift. And what they do is all the counties, all the referral hospitals, they send the samples to that organization or that NGO parastatal. They process and they send back these results. What it means is even other neighboring countries like Uganda, the Central Africa, the Southern Africa, the Northern Africa, bring the samples here. And when they do that, we get the revenue. So in two ways, we have actually not sent our revenue outside, so we have retained. Two, we also get revenues from other countries. And number two, results are going to be quicker. And number four, we are going to be very extensive. It's actually equivalent. Unfortunately, I think wherever we point, he missed the point, because there's the National Health Laboratory Service for the public health, but not for clinical. I wish now we collapse the KEMRI, the National Health Public Health Laboratory, to be part and parcel of this, among other labs. And number two, we need to standardize. Today, every corner you go in this country, there's a toy machine. There's called a lab, which is actually, most of them, they are not labs. They are cheating people. We need to standardize. Health is a real security, which must be cutted. The way we cut our physical borders and the rest, we must also cut this and ensure. We cannot have a scenario whereby everybody is having a lab and cheating people that there's a lab. Today, even if you go to any lab, they will tell you, one lab will tell you there's malaria is there, another one is saying it's not there. Another one is saying, today you have maybe HIV, another is saying you don't have HIV. Really, we must guide and ensure things are done in the right way. Concerning the issue of the training of the medical school, with the due respect, that the universities should train the undergraduate. Anything after undergraduate should be managed by the colleges of medicine of Kenya or East Africa. Reason, we want to standardize. Two, we also wanted to ensure that we minimize the time student takes. Even if master's program takes 5 years, and then you go for fellowship for 3 years, and then when the ufanye zingine hizo more of this, you actually you graduate when you're already 55, and then you retire at 50, another 5 years. Really, that's not the way to go. We want to ensure that more of our programs, our graduates, when you finish, as soon as you finish your undergraduate, you do your internship 1 year, and then that internship of 1 or 2 years, it forms part one of your master's, and then within 3 years, you have completed your master's, and then you eventually now join you do sub-specialization for another 2 years or 3 years, and eventually now you give service to Kenyans. And that way we shall not refer any Kenyan. And we have actually done what we call succession planning for human resource management. And that one really is the way they work. And that's why Americans today, they're able to absorb Kenyan doctors. Europe, they're able to absorb Kenyan doctors. That's why they have been able to absorb for many, many years. That is the reason, because they have a career pattern for every doctor there. But if you do that as a country, we can actually create a career position for more than 1 million doctors. Currently, we have less than 20,000 Kenyan doctors. Now, if you create what I propose, we create position for more than 1 million doctors, which will take another 100 years to fill those positions. So that's why you find now the county government are saying we have full. The national government is saying we have more than doctors, but when you come to the ground, there are no doctors. It's just because of the career pattern which has been missed. And I want the category to say, let us have this pattern that every Kenyan doctor must be a subspecialist or super specialist, so that whoever is joining medicine knows very well, I want to be a cardiologist, I want to be a nephrologist, I want to be a neurosurgeon, I want to be a specialist in subspecialists and super specialists. Once we reach there, we're able to accommodate every doctor, every nurse for the next 100 years. I will want to guarantee without any fear or intimidation. Because that's where Americans started around 1942, and they're still absorbing African doctors, Indian doctors, and also the whole world are going to America. For how long are we going to have our own doctors whom we actually use a lot of resources to mentor them, and we are not getting the fruits? Let us have this thing in place, and let us retain our doctors, and let us also pay them fairly, and they will appreciate. Most Kenyans that's what they are willing. I don't think any doctor who is not willing to come and serve our people. You mentored us, you supported us, and there's no reason why we should go outside. Let us retain our doctors, and we become a better society. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just as we come to a close now, another issue that I have noticed you've been very passionate and vocal about is the issue of transplant trafficking. And I think you've been very vocal, and you've been a big campaigner for improvement in terms of the laws and the regulations around transplant and eradication of trafficking. Could you just tell us a few words about that?
Thank you, Matthew. Indeed, anything you attach money has a value. So imagine a scenario whereby we reach a level we sell human beings. What will happen to you? Mm-hmm. As you grow old, you realize the body will become weaker. Mm-hmm. So if there is somebody, the young people say now, we can actually look for this guy because he cannot run away. So what will happen now if we allow such a thing to sell human beings? What happens is the vulnerable communities watawindwa. The rich people will say, I'm going to buy somebody. Like you are buying fish in the market, or a cow, or a goat in the market. Number two, eventually now the society, the people will eat each other. So if I give you an example, if the people will understand that we can sell a human being, there will be no war, there will be no human being, because everybody will look for another one. And eventually we are the weak in the society, the young people, the older people,
the vulnerable.
They will be killed.
Yeah.
And these are people who don't know even how to harvest.
Yeah.
So what will they do? They will shoot with an arrow, they will stone, they will even use poison, and then we are not human. Yeah. And that's something we've been sharing with the fellow Kenyans. I'm sorry that maybe most of you guys, you misunderstood me, but nonetheless, wherever I've reached, I have every reason to share with you. And I'm aware now, most of us are aware, we are enlightened, and we have learned. The reason why I'm bringing the issues of the bill, we had LTAC of 20, or rather there is a law governing the issues of transplantation of 1967, and eventually we have the 2017 LTAC, which are anchored in the Constitution. Yeah. But the two are not tying up. The 1967 was dealing with life-related, while the 2017 largely deals with the deceased, or those who have died, donating. However, we have a bill before Parliament, which is actually currently under the public participation of 2024. They wanted to look at this comprehensively. It's called the Kenya Blood and Transplant Service Bill. And the main reason is we want to ensure that nobody from outside will come and buy or take advantage of those who are not empowered economically in our society, or those who don't have the knowledge, or those who don't have the knowledge, to take them outside there in the name of being getting a job in maybe like Russia or even the Asian subcontinent, and eventually they end up being slaughtered there. Two, we also don't want the people to discourage those who are willing to donate, because they know this can discourage them. And that's something we don't want to reach there. The other aspect concerning this is also the fact that indeed, if you allow such a thing to occur, I don't think we shall have a country. There will be no Kenya. So these are very serious things. And I want to encourage our fellow Kenyans to go through the document, the bill, Further, to kind request our members of parliament, particularly the Health Committee led by Professor James Nikal, to answer this particular process so that but before the end of this year, we have an act dealing with the issues of trafficking of persons for the purpose of organ removal and transplantation.
Yeah.
We must have the law governing, and also and I'm happy today, we as the team from the North Rift, we have established the Independent Ethics and Transplant Committee to ensure also verify whatever the other hospitals, are doing can be in law with the regulations and the laws of the country. And this is a great milestone and celebration for the entire, not only the North Rift, but the entire country. Thank you.
Thank you. So 2 more questions. Kipkeme, you'll be a bit patient before we finish. So, Dr. Cheptinga, where do you think the future of medicine is going? There's a lot of hullabaloo about AI and other new technologies. What do you think the future of medicine looks like in 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 years? What do you reckon?
Indeed, the future of medicine is bright. And indeed, technology will not replace a human being because the technology is developed by the human.
Yeah.
2, it's there to help, but not to displace. And indeed, we are going to have more advance. And actually that life is going to be, the lifespan is going to be better. The quality of life for people is going to be the best. So indeed, personally, I want to encourage, as we do even most of these, we keep our hospitals. Let us embrace technology. Let us put modern things because it makes things better, it makes the quality of life better, not only for yourself. And I wanted to remind our leaders, I want to remind every Kenyan that indeed you are a patient, you are a human being. And given the opportunity, do your best, knowing very well you're going to join the club there. So given the opportunity by the government, by the Kenyan people, serve them with honor and dignity. And the most important thing is, let us avoid corruption. Live within your means, get certified, be proud of it. And the funny point I want to tell Kenyans is, most of the conditions we say today are preventable. And most of it is related to the lifestyle we have, the food you have, the choice of the food we have, and the kind of, maybe the exercise you do, and what you do. My friends, my fellow Kenyans, just know there is no market for you. Even if you fatten your baby, your child, your relative, hakuna soko ya kuuza. Wewe chunga. Hiyo vitu ya obesity inaleta cancer, inaleta maneno ya moyo, maneno ya figo na hizi shida zote. Kula kidogo ile inatosha, hata ukikula mara moja kwa siku ni sawa. Hata ukikula mara 2 ni sawa, lakini ukienda beyond mara 3, hiyo sasa italeta shida. Hii maneno ya kukula ndogo ndogo kama sukari na usifanye exercise, hiyo sio mzuri. Na pia nitaomba Wakenya wenzangu mkule chakula ile iko na afya. Na nyinyi mnajua chakula gani iko na afya. Ile haina madawa, ile imetengenezwa vizuri, ile hujaweka vitu nyingi. Hiyo ni chakula mzuri. Na hiyo maisha ya zamani our parents, our grandparents used to live. And they lived a quality life. And I wanted to say, I celebrate my grandmother 116 years.
Yeah.
It's not been easy. And our sister who passed on again at the age of last week, part 1, at the age of 120 years, it's not easy. They must have come from age. So, and that's what they used to tell us. Live and eat a good meal. Thank you, and I want to say thank you once more for the opportunity.
So last but not least, Dr. Cheptinga, we would like to just ask you a few personal questions. So apart from work, who is Dr. Cheptinga? You have a family, you have children, and then maybe, I don't know whether you would want to talk about the reason why you are wearing a hat or any other thing you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll not say too much.
Yes, Cheptinga is a family member, family man. Our family, I have my wife, Milka Cheptinga, who is a lawyer in this town, Eldoret. We are blessed with 3 children.
Yeah.
Marion, who is a finalist, a law student, and my son, my firstborn son, our firstborn son, Melvin Chesomet, who is a 4 finalist, 4th student at Kapsabet High School, and our lastborn, Eli, who is also in lower primary or grade 6. We wish you well. And of course, again, indeed, I have my brother's children, Cynthia, who is a law student, as well as Charlene, who want to become a pilot also. Indeed, Cheptinga has come from far. As you are all fellow Kenyans, as you are all aware that in the year 2000, we were faced with what we call COVID-19. And what you don't know, 2020.
Yes.
Most of us, we don't know is that most of the nephrology in Eldoret, Matthew, Peter Koech, Maritime, and I, we were in the forefront, saving lives across the hospital, running from ICU to another one. And I think I remember one day, all of us were infected with COVID. And indeed, we made a choice. If we leave this patient, they will die. What can we do? So we had to make a timetable such that if anybody step or kidogo, you attend the patients. And actually, that's what happened. In fact, at one point, Matthew told me he does not understand whether it's still COVID or not. Unfortunately for me, I got 6 episodes of COVID, and eventually it affected most of my. I got a very severe one, the last one which I got, which affected most of the organs, including the heart, the liver, the kidneys. And I want to thank God that eventually most of the organs recovered fully. And I had one of the organs actually which wasn't, that was the kidney. And something which I never knew all along was that Matthew, my colleagues whom are actually pushing my colleague, my CEO then, Dr. Wilson Arwaza, and I want to thank him and appreciate his effort by allowing them to go to school and come back again. I never knew at one point I would be a patient. And actually, that's what happened with me. I became a patient, and I want to thank them for taking care of me, particularly Matthew, Peter Koech, Maritime, as well as my surgeons, Dr. Kasiboy, Mukalo, Matenge, Dr. Amadi, Dr. Kirwa, among and the entire team who took care of me. And that's where I am today. Actually, from the year 2024, September, I'm able to appear. I'm sure most of you have seen I've not been well, and that was the main reason why I have not been well. But you can see me. I want to thank my donor, who is my cousin, Kale Kwepurui. I am the way I am today because of him and my team.
So you received a kidney transplant?
Yes, indeed.
And you are a transplant nephrologist also?
Yes.
So that's really a very touching story.
And surprisingly is when I didn't know that at one point I became sick. And something also most of you don't know now, I established what you call the North Rift Kidney Patients Association, where I am the patron. Now I'm a patient. But nonetheless, we have grown because we have more than 1,600 members where we share and educate each other. And this has really helped us to grow and ensure, especially I formed it because I noted the young people, the young children, as they reach the age of adolescence, they decide to they change. They just say, I don't want medicine. And I believe, Matthew, there's a young man, you remember the Kimweno, who actually came one time and told me, Cheptinga, he disappeared from the clinic, and I had to reach his teacher. And when he came back, he came and told me, Cheptinga, hey, who do you think I am? Why are you calling me? Why are you using my teacher to call me? And I told the guy, you see, Matthew, when I came here because I want to know how you're progressing. He told me, never repeat again. And I called Matthew. So Matthew told me, you're going to handle him. Within a week, I know that they parted ways. So Gemwena disappeared. He came back and later on, you could not see he was blind because the blood pressure was high. Unfortunately, may his rest, we lost him like that. And I actually learned a lesson. I don't want to have babies of mine. As they transit from pediatric to adults, I don't want them to lose them. And that's why even today we work as a team. Dr. Peter Goethe has been really in the between, and my team have been between, chasing up and down. It's not easy, and that's why we take care of them. Our patients actually, they don't know, they don't have a boundary. They come from one corner to another one, and we manage them. And that's the far we have come as a Eldoret team, or the North Rift team, and we shall continue to make better lives for our people. Thank you.
So, Dr. Cheptinga, thank you very much. I think you've been very open. You've really spoken to us. You've told us about your life stories. You've told us about the work that you do, and it's been really an eye-opener for us to understand what motivates you and other similar doctors. We must say that we are inspired by your hard work and your passion for what you do, and it's been a pleasure having you with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
And
Dr.
I wish you well. And
I wish you well also, Dr. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This is a gentleman and a very good man. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Yeah, so stay tuned, people. This has been an interesting discussion. As you've seen, we have hosted Dr. Cheptinga, who has been very candid and has spoken a lot about his field of kidney medicine, especially that is focused on pediatric nephrology. That's the taking care of children with kidney problems, and it's been an eye-opener. I think that has been wonderful. So we want you guys to stay tuned. We want you to subscribe to our channel. We want you to click that notification icon so that you can always be in tune and in touch with what we are going to be coming up with. Coming up next, we'll have Dr. Lele, the professor of orthopedics, the father of bone medicine in this town. Tune in for that, coming up next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.